that's what I just woke up to. I don't want to get up. It's like 9 something. And it looks like this is the type of day it's gonna be. And I guess it's time for some coffee. Check this out. Got the whole, all 3 tiers covered. Dang right. Finally. I bought this thing like, I want to say a couple years ago. I don't know how long ago. Finally. That has been a plan for quite a while. Just covered this. Nice footprints on it. But I got a lot of ideas for this. I sure was wanting to work on some of this stuff today. But it's raining. I can't really mill wood. I can't really do much in this rain. I don't know what to do today. But I cannot wait to start decorating this stuff. Some rails, keep these animals off my porch. I got a lot to do to get this prepared for this hot thing. Like for one, I'm probably gonna have to put some wood up under the tarp to protect the tarp from the heat. Possibly some sheet metal also. I have quite a few ideas for this. You can see where timber's standing and that live tree here. It's kind of a triangle here. I'm kind of wanting to create maybe a type of oven back there where I'll have the chimney pipe going through and then up have some walls and maybe even have kind of a oven box behind it. I don't know. And I'm not sure what I need to do if this is gonna be possibly too hot sitting on top of the wood. So I don't know if I need maybe some stones to put down or frame it up, maybe create like a cement pad under it. I don't know. I haven't thought it all through yet, but we're about to have some heat. This back here, I'm planning on that being wood. I'm not planning on that tarp staying there. I would like to build kind of some French doors there where I can open them and shut them. Possibly have a back porch in the future. I guess one comment or comments I could respond to, people saying because I'm talking about not wanting my dogs up on my new porches and basically my living room, bedroom area. They say I hate my dogs. Well, this is my dogs walking across here. Literally, that's like 2 or 3 times they walked across here, and I got on them. I keep running them off my porch, but that's just only a few times. Imagine 100 times. So I want to create kind of a rail and a gate here to go up there. A rail like over here, not a rail, but kind of like porch pickets here to stop them from in and out that way. I'm gonna have to put a piece under here, under the bed, stop them from coming in there. I'm gonna do the same over here, work out kind of a rail fence type deal over here. And this is going to pretty much be like a no shoe zone on this whole deck here and by the bed. So I can just take my shoes off right here, pretty much go up there, and my socks are barefooted. I'll probably, I don't know, get me a couple rugs, maybe a little bit of carpet or whatever, and make it nice. So if the people talking about me hating my dogs, if you let your dogs go outside in the mud and get all muddy and then come in your living room, that's awesome. I'm glad you love your animals that much, because I don't want no dirty, muddy, outside animals in my living space. They do love decks, I can tell you that. They really love this deck. Last winter, I had beds right here on this deck, and they love it because it's like super close to the fire. That way, when I have a fire going, they pretty much stay warm, have a nice dry area over here. They have the garage where they can freely hang out, do their thing. I got them some blankets over here, dirty as crap, but it's impossible to keep that clean. They're outside dogs. In the rain, they're out running around, playing in the woods, playing in the mud, and then they come in here and get everything super dirty. Before winter, I would like to have a big, nice white tarp up here where I'll have some way for it to open. It'll be kind of like my garage door. I could shut it when I'm not going in and out the door with the ATV and stuff. This is my garage. I like to keep the ATV and my trailer in here and keep that dry, but I need a barricade up here. I'll probably frame it up with some wood and stuff. Kind of planning on eventually adding a couple rain catcher barrels there and a gutter. That's kind of why I haven't finished any of this yet. Over here, I'm planning on having another door here where I've been driving four-wheeler out. I used to kind of drive it out that way a lot. I still can, but I'd also kind of like to have a wall here. I don't know if I'm gonna continue using that or not. Seems like I'm gonna need an area for some firewood, so I'm gonna create walls, hopefully like a little oven type deal here. The wood stove is side fed, so I need wood out here. I'll be able to feed that from this side. I am not very experienced with a wood stove. I've been around wood stoves a whole lot. I've never cleaned them. I've never fixed them up. I've never hooked up the chimney pipe. I've never done any of that, so I am kind of excited about hooking all of this up. And you know, I have all winter to get some experience. But I know this thing is definitely this close. It's definitely gonna melt tarps. I know for a fact that heat's gonna go up and melt this tarp. So I have to figure out what I'm gonna do at the top to stop it from the heat from melting my tarps. So I'm definitely gonna have to add wood, possibly some sheet metal. I don't know yet. I haven't planned all that out. I know I just said that, but you know, I just put this thing in here yesterday. It is awesome. I also need to clean this glass from the inside. I want to say I watched a video one time where they actually used ashes to clean the glass on the inside, and it worked really good. So I definitely have to watch some wood stove videos. It's August. Usually winter don't come till what, like November, pretty much. It gets colder like the end of October. It seems like leaves and stuff are falling already, and it's cooling off already. So I don't know if we're gonna have an early fall or if it's just gonna be cool, warm up again, and you know, until winter. That's kind of how Virginia is. Even during the winter, that's kind of how winter is here. It'll be cold for a while and then it'll warm up, then get cold for a while again, and then warm up a little bit again. That's just how Virginia's always been since I've lived in this state for many, many, many years. One thing I'm definitely not answering in the comments is about my son. I have zombies hitting me up, I guess coming from over there, rumors or whatever. I don't know. I don't watch any of those videos. I really don't know what's going on over there. One thing I'm doing is making my life more comfortable. I'm focusing on me. I'm just kind of healing, whatever you want to call it, getting to know myself again, being in solitude, and I'm working with what I have. He is states away from me. I can barely make it to the grocery store. I don't have the gas to even go to the freaking gas station right now. So, you know, and people saying, you know, that I don't contact him, I don't try to talk to him, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is my son's, like, private number he had, right? And these are a bunch of videos, messages, all kinds of stuff where I've communicated with him. I mean, endless videos. I was sending him video messages and stuff, telling him I love him and miss him. I mean, just endless. I mean, it just voice messages, all kinds of stuff. Communicating with him, right? I mean, just video, just on and on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on. All those are videos. And then he was responding up until then. And then no more responses. And that one was never even opened. So I'm guessing someone opened that, but probably not him. And then bam. Never opened. So most of the people know someone got a protection order against me. And when someone gets a protection order against me, they take me to court, try to sabotage my freedom, and pretty much break my trust and all of that. I am never, ever contacting any of their devices. So I was trying to communicate with him on his iPad. And I would not be surprised if the only way I have to contact him and talk to him disappeared. It just wouldn't surprise me. So I'm going to leave that at that. Okay? But yes, I love my son very much. I miss him very, very much. But what can I do? What can I do? I have a lot of people curious about these chickens everywhere. I don't know how many chickens there are down here, but it's a bunch of them. I haven't counted them, but it's a lot. I'm not, it's a whole like freaking flock of them, or whatever you want to call it. At least 10, I don't know, but they're my neighbors. My neighbor has chickens running around everywhere up there, and a bunch of them migrated down here. I guess just checking the place out, and then they discovered my bird feeders, where the birds eat out of my bird feeders and they drop food. So they're really attracted to my bird feeders. And then now they're really enjoying my shelter. The only thing that really bothers me is just them freaking pooping. They're worse than any animal when it comes to freaking poop. So that's another reason I got to get this deck freaking railed up and keep animals out, because they're not bad company. I don't mind them. They're pretty cool, I guess. But the poop on my freaking porch just got to stop. Minty! Now this little girl, she's big time talked about in the comments. She is y'all's favorite word in the whole world in the animal community. She's neutered. She's not pregnant. She's actually really sweet and light as a feather. She's not as big as she looks on camera. She's just really fluffy. She has a lot of fur. But she just walked up one day. I don't know, I attract freaking animals. They just come out of nowhere. Chickens, cats. But Minty came here years ago and just never left. She's just always been here, and she is pretty much mine. She is adopted, and she loves the dogs very, very much. Her and the dogs love each other a whole lot. What else? What else? I mean, it's just wet and rainy. I'm not motivated to really do anything. This would be a great day to have about 40 or 50 bucks. Go get me some Modelo's and a rotisserie chicken and some salad stuff. Let me see. Another thing I get a lot of comments about is my shelter roof. I really love the tarp life. I mean, it's like it's basically like a big freaking military tent and that I've built. It's very structurally sound. The roof is very strong. I have over pretty much the whole deck, the deck in the front, over the whole living area that I just built has 3 tarps. It's got like a 20 by 30 16 mil tarp that I first put over it when that's how big the shelter was. It was a 20 by 30. So I had a 16 or a 20 by 30, I think, over it. And then I built the garage, and then that's when I got a 30 by 30 20 mil tarp and put it over the whole thing. And then I got another 30 by 30 20 mil tarp and put it over the whole thing. So the living area literally has 3 layers of tarp. And then the garage has 2 layers of the 20 mil tarp. You know, it's funny that everybody in the world is like cool with a yurt. You know what I mean? They're like, you need a yurt, live in a yurt. But, you know, the only thing better about a yurt than this is the steepness of it, where the rain and snow and weather just basically doesn't accumulate on it at all because the walls are so steep. I have this very well framed up, pretty much the roof. 3 tarps up there, I promise you, is way thicker than a yurt. The only difference is the steepness of the roof, like snow and stuff can accumulate. But hopefully if snow's coming this winter, which the last few winters I've been here, we've barely got any snow at all. But if we do happen to get a good one this year, hopefully I'll have this wood stove cranked up, have the roof really warm. That way if it snows, it'll just kind of melt off. You know what I mean? So the only thing I would worry about snow weight is really the peak of the roof. I could probably support it a little more, which I have been planning on doing, but this, I'm comfortable in this. If I didn't trust this roof, I wouldn't be building decks and all this stuff in it. You know what I mean? So I think it's pretty cool. I like the tarp life. For me to put a real roof on here, it would just cost probably like a freaking $1,000 or something that I can't come up with. And I would have to add wood up top. I would have to make it more structural to hold more weight. So I think it's pretty awesome with just tarps. I'm cool with framing up wood and using like the tarps as siding. I'm really loving the white tarps. I had dark tarps like the roof on the walls, and it just made it so dark, like a dungeon inside. Really looked bad outside. That's not a white tarp, that's just plastic I have up there. That's temporary. Like I said, I want to build a couple French doors there, possibly have a porch out back and a grill eventually. And this is a very sunny area right here. It's all cleared out. I'm planning on planting some edibles. Hopefully I'll have this prepared by spring. I really want to plant a garden over here, and then I'll have my porch. It'll just be here. Same over there. I'm thinking about a lot of this. I don't know, man. We'll see. Hopefully I get there, because I definitely want to grow some food and be able to eat healthy. Way cheaper than the grocery store. But I love these white tarps. It just lets so much light in. It just looks brighter. It doesn't look as trashy as these dark tarps. Over here, I'm planning on framing up a deck here. I want about maybe 4 rain barrels here. That would be about what, 220 gallons of water. So I put a piece of wood in there. I'm probably gonna have to structure that up more, but I want a long gutter right here to catch all this water coming off this roof, going into these rain barrels. And then I have my bathtub I'm planning on putting in this deck over here pretty soon. So I kind of have to work all of that out before I can really work on this wall here again. Definitely leaving a window for my bird feeder. This fence right here, I did a couple, I don't know how long ago, maybe a year ago, I don't know. I would like to continue this fence going to the shelter here. blocking wind from hitting my fire over here. Last winter, that was pretty tough, having a bunch of air going through, cold air hitting my fire, blowing smoke into the place. So I definitely have some fencing to do and other ideas. What's up, Minties? What's up, Minties? You sweetie pie. You sweetie pie. At least you don't get muddy like the dogs. I don't even pet the dogs when it rains. But you stay dry, don't you? This garage over here that I definitely need to work on some organization inside. A lot of this I put in here. I took it out of my shelter to, you know, to do the work I'm doing in there. This is a white tarp here. Lets a lot of light in. The rest of it is just a roll of plastic that I put up. The same with this, has 2 tarps on it. So it's pretty dried in. So the tarps, I mean, this has stood up to so many storms and crazy wind and everything. The same with that shelter. I started building that years ago. It's been through crazy storms. So I'm just not scared of the tarp life. And I mean, the tarps are a little expensive. I mean, yeah, they're pretty expensive, but way cheaper than, you know, milling, building a roof, and then buying a bunch of metal to cover all these shelters that I've built. You know, I have the garage in the back. That one has, you know, the garage, the tarp garage, or whatever you call it, canvas garage. And then I have, that came with the tarp over it, the roof. And then I have a tarp over that. So it's pretty good and dry. Then I built the big old generator shed back there. I actually did build that roof solid for metal, and I just went to Harbor Freight and bought a pretty cheap, like 16 by 20 or 20 by 20 or something like that, and just threw it up there to put metal up there like I built it for. I mean, you're looking at $4, $5, maybe $600. You know what I mean? So tarps for now. And I actually, the cheap tarp I got from Harbor Freight, it's been in the weather for a while, and it's thin. It's like probably only like a 10 mil or something. So I actually need another tarp to put up over that tarp, you know, until I get rich, you know. In the comments I see a lot, you know, like I need sliding glass door in the back. I need windows all the way around, and, you know, that sounds amazing, but once again, I'm just getting by, and I get, you know, I'm out here in my own free will, pretty much chose this for myself. So I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying, stating facts that I couldn't, it's not even feasible for me to go get used windows and a used sliding glass door and stuff. So pretty much everything I'm doing, I'm using what I got and just building my own stuff as cheap as possible. Trust me, if I had money and I could have a big old stack of lumber out here, I would have built a house already. But I don't have it like that, and I'm not complaining. It is what it is. I'm just out here milling freaking wood, man. milling wood. And I've also said I'm just kind of out here camping and surviving, and just doing my thing, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to explain it any further than that. So here's the generator shed back here I built. Oh, another comment too. I built all of this with wet lumber, just like I did the cabin up front. And I built these, I guess you call them either barn doors or French doors, whatever you want to call them. This is kind of what I want to do to the back of the shelter, where I can open them up and I can build them myself, because I can't really buy them. So, I mean, but hey, look how nice these are. I mean, nice heavy duty doors. So I could build those in the back, get creative with it. And my generator shed that I built for the purpose of generators ended up way bigger than I was planning. It was just supposed to be for 2 generators. I made it big enough for 2 generators. Then it just turned into a storage shed for tools and stuff. And there's a bunch of stuff in here also I took out of my shelter to do my upgrades. I'm about to move a bunch of my bird houses and carvings and pretty decorative stuff back in there after I finish the deck and sanding and finishing and all that. But this is probably never gonna be for a running generator to power stuff. This is just gonna be like a workbench in here to work on stuff like that. But yeah. But my point is, the weather kind of makes this wood expand a little bit, and then when the humidity goes away, they shrink down again and shut right again. But as far as powering back here, like powering the garage and then powering the shop, which I haven't forgotten about. It's a little abandoned right now, but I'm planning on getting back to that. But to power the shop, when and if I ever get to the point where I need power run to it, and to power the garage, I was thinking I'm gonna build another small generator shed like I built in the front, probably down like in this valley a little bit, you know, about 100 foot from that and 100 foot from that, kind of down in there where there's really nothing going on. Oh, another question I get a lot is about the puppies. Puppies are gone. All of them. They are gone. So I got the pen over here that's kind of abandoned. Hasn't been used in a long time. I haven't really been locking Aurora and timber up in it because I haven't really been anywhere. I built this so when I leave, I'll have a place to secure them, make sure they're safe while I'm gone. That tarp, I think that might be a 20 mil. One tarp eventually. I don't know. It wouldn't cost that much to cover this roof with metal. And I did structurally build it where I could put pieces of wood up there to fasten down metal. For right now, it's the tarp life. And I'm happy with the tarp life. I'll probably eventually put another tarp over that one, just like I do everything else. Probably eventually put another tarp over that one and that one. And I mean, they last dang near forever, especially when you have like multiple layers, because you have the top layer protecting the bottom layer, and the more tarps you put on it, the freaking better, you know. Just is what it is, and I love it. The big old wood shop I worked on a lot of the winter. I haven't forgotten about it. I haven't given up on it. I don't know I mean, it's all of these buildings are sort of workshops and living areas, storage like that. It's just a work area, a storage, and I can hang out there too. You know, same with the garage. It's huge. I just cleaned a bunch of wood out of there, made a bunch of room in there. So I'm gonna organize more in there. Who knows all of what I'm gonna do to that, but that's sort of a wood shop now. So this, I built it where there's gonna be a porch all the way around and then a building, cover the whole freaking thing. This is definitely not gonna have tarps on it. So I'm gonna have to get rich before I can afford to actually build a real roof on it. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. It's definitely grown up. I haven't done anything to it since last winter. All of this is gonna die pretty soon when it gets cold. All of this die and get cut down, and we'll try to get back to this. I just I mean, I started it. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. If you wait until you can do something, you're probably never going to do it, is kind of my motto. You got to start somewhere and just hope that the Most High blesses you and makes it to where you can finish it. I don't know. But to do this roof, I'm dang near going to have to get rich first. So, because that's a lot of roof. This thing is huge. And the whole thing, I want a roof over this whole thing. So that's been a question I get a lot too. Is when am I ever going to get back to the workshop or whatever? I might work on it this winter. I don't know. I'm just working on what I can do. That's what I've been doing the whole time I've been here. It's just doing what I can do, what's feasible for me to do. And right now I'm really focused on just making my shelter more comfortable and cooler. And hopefully this winter will be a whole lot more cozy than last winter, because I had zero heat last winter. All I had was stacking up comforters on the bed and a fire pit. That's it. So when I went to bed at night, all I had was blankets, which I slept very, very warm. I was not freezing when I was sleeping. So it's all good. But this winter, I'm planning on being a little more cozy. I still have to get, the chimney pipe for the wood stove. I have a lot to do. So, I mean, I pray I get it all worked out by winter. I mean, if not, I mean, whatever. Like I said, I'm just doing what I can do and making the stuff happen that I can pretty much make happen. But if you can picture some cool doors like I did on the generator shed back there, if you could picture a couple cool barn doors, French doors, whatever right here, and a little porch back here, maybe a grill, it'll be pretty cool. And frame up a lot of this other stuff with wood. A lot of the walls are definitely going to be framed up with wood, basically using white tarps as siding. I don't know, but I think this thing is awesome. Back in the day when, I was trucking, working my life away, just having a nice apartment or home or whatever I was renting to come back to on the weekends, and just living by myself pretty much most of those trucking years. It was just lonely. I couldn't really even have pets because I was always on the road. I have to say, I'm happier living in a tarp shelter than I was in like really nice apartments and stuff. I'm way less lonely. I'm out just in the wilderness. I got surrounded by living things out here, as you always hear. It's just, I wish I would have done this way back when I was trucking and had money. I wish I would have bought some land and started doing this then. I don't know where my mind was back then, besides working my butt off, putting a bunch of money into my rig and into vehicles that I have nothing to show for, and I just worked my life away for what? I don't know. This is my garage, and basically storage for now until I do something else with this. I kind of would like this to be maybe sort of a little showroom type deal for some of my art. I don't know. Pantry, maybe like kind of a showroom, decorate this eventually when I can get to it. I would like to fix this up, possibly have a garage door, I don't know, doors on it, and just, yeah. Got the pedal boat over here and my soaker tub. This is about to go in the shelter very soon. Look at this. I hadn't even thought about it or worried about it really, but look at these freaking big old wasp nests, man. Waspuses. One there, very active. I'm kind of like, hey, if you don't sting me, you're welcome to stay. First one of y'all that stings me, your whole crew's getting wiped out. So as long as they keep the peace, they don't bother me any. But there's another one. They ain't bothered me none. So that I haven't even really thought about it. I've seen them a couple times and never really even acknowledged it or thought much about it. I got this big old freaking two-sided mirror here. I wonder if I should put this in the shelter or leave it in here. I don't know. I guess it's cool in here. I found this in a Target dumpster a long time ago. Pretty cool mirror. During the summer, it's okay to have your clothes out like this during the summer. During the winter here, you cannot leave them uncovered out like this. So I have to do something with my clothes pretty soon, because those, I guess people call them stink bugs or whatever, they will take over your clothes. I mean, your clothes will be literally full of them things in there freaking living. So I gotta do something about that in the near future. Another thing I get in the comments quite a bit is the cabin. People talk about the cabin a lot. I think a lot of people don't even know about the cabin that I built, because I guess I am getting quite a bit of new YouTube family members joining the family and watching, and thank you so much for subscribing and watching and everything, and supporting the channel in amazing ways from all my YouTube family members. But the cabin, I just seen a comment this morning talking about they would have put the wood stove in the cabin. Well, I'll tell you right now, you put that wood stove in a 10 by 10 cabin, you can start a fire in there if you want to, but you ain't gonna be able to sit in there with that big wood stove burning. This little guy is like a 10 by 10 with a covered porch. I can't remember how big the roof is. 14 by 20 something, maybe something like that. I get a lot of comments saying that they would build onto it, put wood stove in it. I enjoy this as kind of like just a little bedroom, a little living room, porch to hang out on. The only thing I would really want to add on to this is more roof, because as you can see, my nice porch and rail here gets really weathered. So I would really love to extend the roof out past the rail to keep all that dried in. But I built this small like this just for a little hangout camping cabin. I don't want to add on to it. If I were to do anything like this, I would want to build another one beside of it. I wouldn't want to make this bigger. I just want to duplicate it, you know, maybe do another one, not exactly alike. I would be creative, of course, if I ever get to it. I don't know. But when I built this, my intentions were to build another one. And this is basically a road here going all the way back. And one thing I've loved doing when I was like in Virginia Beach anyway, and areas out there, I used to love freaking dumpster diving. I've had up to like 3 10 by 20 storage units full of stuff that I've found. I was into like buying and selling stuff, looking for deals on stuff. That's how I used to make quite a bit of money, dumpster diving and selling stuff out of my storages. So that was kind of my idea. Also with these is basically building storage units, but it looks like a campground. You know what I mean? So I basically have my own personal private campground for me and my friends and family. And I could just use them for whatever I want. And storages are expensive. At one time I was paying what, $300 up to $400 a month for storage units that I was selling stuff out of and stuff like that. And they're all gone now. I got none of them left now. But that's kind of was my idea when I built this. I wanted to continue building them. You know, I wanted one right here next to this one where you're kind of neighbors, and continue down this road, which goes pretty far back. The property goes pretty far back there. So I could build all the buildings, storage units, whatever I wanted to. And like I said, if I had a stack of lumber out here, I could probably build one of these in a week. If I had all the wood just ready to build, I could throw this together in a week or two, no doubt. But I don't, so it takes me a while. I milled all of this with wet lumber. That's another comment I get, asking about building with wet lumber. I built all of this wet lumber. I'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, that was part of my plan, is to build more of these. Just kind of cool out here. I don't know the future. I can't predict the future. All this is the property here, another valley down here. I mean, I could just build really whatever I want out here. This road goes all the way down. There's a trail going down this big valley hill, like an ATV trail going all the way up to the back garage. There's trails everywhere out here. So when I tell people that my intentions were to never really build a home here, it's just playland for me. Kind of like my job out here, where I can do my woodwork, play with chainsaws, build stuff, do my YouTube and all of that. That's basically what this is. And my idea is when I get rich, I could still have this and a home somewhere else. You know what I mean? This is just off grid, no address, just what do you call it, unrestricted property where you could play, work, use a generator, and just do my job. Which for the past 8 or 9 years, my job has been YouTube, woodworking, dumpster diving, buying and selling, and just surviving, and not necessarily having a 9 to 5 that, you know, is what it is. Another great question that millions of people have asked, so I'm not being a smart ass or anything like that, because it is a good question, but talking about building with wet, freshly milled lumber, I actually prefer it. I actually prefer building with wet lumber. Kind of like this overlap siding here. People are like, hey, if you build with wet lumber, won't that allow it to crack or make it crack more? I think it's the opposite. I think if you let lumber dry and you're trying to overlap siding, you're trying to warp it and force it, you know, together, causes it to crack more than using it wet and bending it and warping it and shaping it kind of how you want it. For instance, like gaps in between here, you know, when you're working with wet lumber, see this kind of, it's got a little curve to it, because when I screwed it down to that, to the stud in there, it pushes the top all the way in where this overlaps it, and then this part kind of bent it a little because, you know, whatever's here caused it to bend to basically not have any cracks. You're forcing it down to bend. So when it's wet, wood, you can bend wood and warp it and shape it the way you want to a lot easier when it's wet. If you allow this lumber, you just stack it up to dry, then it's super hard, and then you put it up here and you have to bend it to go down to cover a crack, then you have more possibility of it cracking because you're forcing it when it's dry. Kind of like your skin, you know, when your skin is nice and moist, it's just the skin. You can bend it and everything, and like your lips. But when you get real dry lips and you want to pull them and everything, then they start cracking. I mean, that's just like anything, you know. So if you want to bend wood, most people, they wet the wood and they steam it and they make it soft so they can shape it, you know what I mean? So I know I just went on about that for a long time, but it's easier to work with when it's wet. And then when you have it screwed down and in place and it can't move, the wood cures, dries and cures exactly like you screwed it down. So it stays like that forever. Just trying to cover some questions and everything, and looks like the sun's coming out, man. I might be able to do something. What time is it? All right, it's almost 2:30, so I still have like half the day to maybe do some stuff. I'm not feeling very motivated though. Kind of sucks, man, with all the crazy mud and everything, and I want to mill. Trees are wet, everything's wet. I don't know, I could look in the back garage and see what wood I have left back there. Maybe I could start working on these porch rails and everything. I don't know. I really just wanted to answer some questions. I don't like really answering questions during my videos when I'm like trying to do projects and make a video of a project. I don't really want to talk about other subjects while I'm on the subject of a project and trying to make a video of doing that project. So every once in a while, I do like doing these videos, just kind of talking, especially when it's a day where I can't really do much else but talk. I'm sure there's a million other questions I could answer, but off the top of my head, I can't really think of many more. I think from now on, every time I see a good question in the comments, I'm gonna start maybe writing them down. Maybe I need like a questionnaire book. That way when I do stuff like this or days like this, I could go through some questions and also like talking about my beliefs and everything. Really, the past little while, I've just been in my solitude. I've been in a lot of thought, and I've just been keeping my thoughts and everything to myself lately. I'm just trying to get through what I'm going through, and it's like once I get through this, I'm gonna become myself again, and I'm gonna open up, and I'm just gonna be freaking wide open, man. It's just tough when you're struggling mentally and you're struggling financially, and it's just hard to really express yourself and be yourself. So if that makes any sense. Just been getting through it, trying to make this place cool. I think we're gonna have a lot more fun once I really get this place nice and comfortable, and I got the wood stove going, and I got a clean space to live, and I'm wouldn't say happier. I'm happy, but just more content and more laid back, where I'm not like struggling every day trying to get things done. You know, kind of makes you feel like you're always in a rush trying to get things done, and it does a number to you when you're in survival mode out here, just trying to survive. And it's a whole lot of work. People don't realize how much work this actually is when you're out milling and doing projects, and you have to cook and feed yourself and feed dogs, and you know, cleaning stuff up, and just it's a lot of chores. Every time I need a tool over here, I gotta walk all the way across the property to the back to get a tool, look for stuff. I couldn't tell you how many times a day that I walk from here to the back, to the cabin, to the garage, to I'm just non-stop, you know. It is what it is. I ain't complaining. I love it, but it's a lot of work. And then during the winter, you got the firewood process, and it actually adds more to it because, you know, instead of taking a week to do a bunch of firewood, it's like I go out daily and get the wood that I need, you know, for the night a lot of the time. Or I might go out and get enough for a couple days or a week at the most. But it's a lot of chores, you know, on top of the work and milling and everything. And I don't know, I love it. I ain't complaining. I'm just talking. But now that the sun's out, dang, what's up, Hyacinth? Lighting the place up. Dang, I might have to get motivated and do some stuff. I almost have this tree done. Pretty much milled about all I can get out of that. I could possibly get one more board out of that. I don't know, it's kind of hard to mill when it starts getting a little flimsy. See that bouncing? That kind of makes the sawmill struggle through it when you have the weight of the saw pushing down on it and it bows. It's kind of hard to mill when your saw is supposed to be perfectly flat. That's a nice board I have left over there. 1-inch thick board there. that I used on the wood stove part of the deck. I wanted that to be a lot more heavy structural. For the rest of the deck, I was just doing like 5/8, which is quite a bit less than an inch. But I have some wood out here I can play with to work on the decorating the porch and everything, and working on the wood stove area. Got this piece here. That's one thing that's tough for me out here, is like when I wake up and it's raining and I'm like, wow, it looks like it's just gonna rain all day. So you kind of get in a mindset of like, okay, I guess I'm not doing too much today. And then the sun comes out, so you got to kind of switch it up. It's like a light switch from chill to light, you know, chill to getting it in. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like I touched base on quite a bit. Guess I'm gonna leave it at that. Get this video out there. I know people seem to like videos like this more than a lot of my work videos, which is cool. So I would like to do this. I've said that before, I would like to do this more, but I just you also have to have stuff to talk about and to make a video about. And I'm just not really into politics. I'm not really into too much stuff like that. I'm just into my beliefs and my faith, and working and doing what I'm doing out here, and hoping eventually, you know, I'm gonna have the shelter cool, have these places pretty much how I want them, all these shelters and stuff. And maybe one day the Most High, he's gonna allow me to come up and be able to do different stuff, like road trips and fun stuff, you know. But for now, I'm pretty much stuck here. He definitely has me stuck here for his mysterious ways. And I know I'm gonna break out of this and eventually come up, like I have a bunch of times in my life. So thanks for watching, y'all. Thank you to all the new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, hey, click that button. Give me a thumbs up. I love all y'all's positive comments. I try my best to go through and respond to comments and answer questions and stuff. Sometimes just some questions about things I'm just speechless about, and I don't, not only am I speechless about it, but it's like I don't really want to talk about certain things either. It's just it does no good, really. It just, some things, it's just, it is what it is, you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about certain things, and talking about it and all that, it doesn't help either. It just starts things, and I'm trying to keep it 100% positive. That's what I want in my life, is 100% positivity. I can't control people's negative, crazy, weird issues that they have. Like, you just can't change people. Arguing doesn't change people. People only change and do good things when they want to. So if that makes any sense. I have ways to support the channel in the description. Thank you so much for all the support. Right now, it's like that part of the month where I'm really struggling for about another week before I get paid. And then about a week or so after that, paying my bills and all of that. And I'll be struggling again. It just is what it is until I get myself out of this struggle that I'm in. You know, it's like I'm so busy trying to make my life more comfortable that it just takes up all my time, and I can't really do all the stuff that I really want to do that I can sell and woodwork and all that to make money. So it's just, I'm in between a rock and a hard place, you know. And but I'm getting there. I've been practicing the chainsaw milling and everything, or chainsaw carving stuff, and I'm getting pretty dang good at that, making some very beautiful stuff. And eventually I'm gonna have power back here where I can run my carpenter woodworking tools and really get into a lot of really cool stuff. And also I have my wish list and my dang right list on Amazon. I have the links in the description. I really need finish so I can sand and finish these decks. I have food on there, snacks, canned food. I can always use dog food. I can always use donations for gas. I run the generator out here. I run that thing a whole lot. All my lights, all my stuff runs off of batteries. Every time I make coffee in the morning, I start the generator. I have freaking 2 batteries and a charger in the cabin. I have 3 batteries in my shelter and a battery charger. I got 2 batteries in the garage that are charged by a charger, all when I run a generator. That's another thing too. People say a lot is like, you need solar panels, and you know, and I'm like, yeah, I really do. But for right now, it's just solar panels are not cheap. I'm just using a generator to keep my batteries charged. Eventually, I have a battery in the back garage too, but I don't have a charger back there, and I don't have a running generator back there yet. I'm getting there. I'll eventually have that worked out. But anyway, I don't know about solar panels. Be one day. I don't even have those on my wish list or anything like that. They're like $1 a watt. To compare that, I have a 4,000 watt generator that powers all this stuff. And when I have everything running, that actually struggles. Like when I run my coffee maker in the shelter, I actually have to unplug the garage and the cabin to make coffee. So those 4,000 watts are pretty much maxed out. So if you think, 4,000 watts in solar, you're looking at $4,000 basically, right? So $1 a watt, 4,000 watt generator. 4,000 watt generator was about $600. So I can afford a little bit of gas here and there. I just can't splurge $2, $3, $4,000 to hook up a bunch of solar and all that stuff. And and then you get into the solar, then you need better batteries. All my batteries are pretty much like truck batteries. I got 3 truck batteries in here, and then I have like 2 marine batteries in the garage. Then I have another like marine battery in the cabin. I have those on my wish list, which are about $160. So it's just, everything is expensive as crap, and it is what it is. So I just make the best of what I got. I'm working with what I got, and I still wake up pretty happy and smiling and just enjoying myself. So even during the struggle, like today and the last few days, pretty much rice, instant potatoes, canned chicken and canned corn and canned green beans, and it might constipate you a little bit, but you're still happy, right? Still have a full belly. And yeah, so if anybody wants to look out for a brother and support the Dang Right channel, man, you know, just anything on the Cash App and PayPal, I'm like super excited, you know. Dang 12 pack, water, generator gas, and then I have my Amazon wish list, which I have food, tools, and whatever stuff that I need. I definitely need the finish I have on there. I need tarps. All of that helps tremendously. I don't even have the big tarps on there that I need. I guess I could put those on there. I've just been kind of waiting until I come up and can actually purchase it myself. Like the generator shed, I definitely need another one on that. That's kind of important right now, is the generator shed, because when I go in there during the daylight, you can actually see through it a little bit because it's been weathered so much. So that is a need. The rest of them are okay for now. The white tarps I have on there, I definitely need. The rain barrels, I want 4 over here, 2 over there. I've been talking to a guy, he's about an hour away, and I think he's selling them for $25 each. I need gutters, you know, I'm always in need. So it just is what it is. And I don't worry about it that much. I'll get it when I can get it and survive until then and make the best of it. So I don't know. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you for sharing. It helps a lot. Sharing on Facebook, sharing with any guys in your family, your sons, brothers, uncles, dads, grandpas, anybody that likes chainsaws and survival stuff and tarp shelters and camping and carpenter work, tree felling, chainsaw milling. You know, it really helps. Every view that I get, every like and share that I get helps a whole lot. So I'm gonna try to get motivated, see if I can start working on this porch. I gotta mill freaking more lumber. That's another thing too. I have milling chains on there. I really don't expect people to spend that much money on me. I mean, them milling chains are like 60 bucks. Tarps are kind of expensive. The white ones aren't that bad, but these ones, these 20 mils and stuff I have on the roof, they are quite expensive. Hundreds of dollars. Anyway, enough rambling. I hope this was fun for y'all. Feels good to vent a little bit and to talk and stuff. I need to do it more instead of being like a hermit out here, all keeping it all to myself. Sometimes it's good to just talk. Even if it's all positivity, it still feels good just to talk. You know, I'm out here hanging out with dogs and chickens, so they don't really talk back. See you on the next one.